The material adverse change clause is basically a clause in the contract which allows one party or another to terminate their position in the deal. And so it's a sharing of risk. The buyer and the seller negotiate the issues that if there's been a material change from the time of the signing of the agreement to the close of the agreement, a material change, a dramatic downturn, operating below the industry, it was unknown to the buyer, there may have been fraud, and there are certain things that are negotiated with respect to the financial condition and the results of operations of the deal, then it may give the buyer usually the opportunity to not consummate the transaction.
But how hard is that to prove?
It's been my experience, and I've testified in the Velasquez versus Advo case live in a material adverse change case before Judge Strine in Delaware. It is very difficult for a Delaware or any court to grant a material adverse change or to let the buyer out of doing the deal, and that's because if the courts get into a habit of making it so easy to get out of a deal, then everybody will be trying to get out of a deal for any little thing. We can assess whether there was a dramatic downturn from the date of the signing of the agreement to the date of the close. Has EBITDA, has earnings dramatically declined? With respect to the next factor in the case law, it's called disproportionality. And disproportionality means that the entity or the target company is operating substantially below its industry competitors. And so all of the industry may be in recession, but is your client or is the target operating substantially below the industry? And then the next factor is durational significance. And Judge Strine quoted that in his opinion in the IBP Tyson case. It cannot be a mere hiccup in earnings. It has to be a downturn in earnings that is more than one period or is going to affect future operating cash flows. And then lastly, whatever occurred, and what we're talking about, dramatic downturn, disproportionality, and durational significance, it had to be unknown to the buyer. And so we can help assess all of those issues because they are primarily economic and will need valuation experts and industry experts in order to prove or disprove the MAC.